I remember one afternoon not too long ago when I decided to treat myself. I walked into a boutique, saw the most elegant pair of shoes, and thought, those are the ones. They looked perfect. They felt decent for the first steps in front of the mirror. I was convinced I had found the treasure, but reality came just 1 hour later. I was at a small family gathering, sitting at the dining table, and suddenly, I couldn't focus on the conversation anymore. My toes were pressed so tightly together it felt like they were whispering complaints with every passing minute. My heel kept slipping out slightly, rubbing against the edge until I felt a blister forming. And the longer I wore them, the heavier they seemed to become, as if I was dragging small weights with every step. That's when it hit me, beautiful shoes are everywhere, but truly comfortable ones are priceless. And learning how to tell the difference is an art every woman deserves to master. So, my dear friends, today I want to share with you something that took me years of trial and error to figure out. How to know if a shoe is comfortable before you commit to wearing it. And believe me, these little secrets can save your feet, your back, and even your mood. And before we dive deeper, let me gently remind you, if you enjoy conversations like this, filled with honest stories and practical tips, please take a moment to subscribe. That way, you and I can keep walking through this journey together, one comfortable step at a time. Here's one trick I wish I knew sooner. Whenever you pick up a shoe, hold it at both ends and try bending it gently. Notice where it flexes. A good shoe should bend where your own foot bends, right at the ball, just below your toes. If it bends right in the middle, that's a red flag. That means there's no support for your arch, and all the pressure will fall on your feet. And if it's so stiff that it barely moves, that's another problem. It will force your feet to do all the work. Comfort is about balance, flexible enough to move with you, but firm enough to support you. Step 2. The weight in your hands. Lift the shoe and feel its weight. It may sound like a small thing, but a heavy shoe is like carrying an extra burden all day. The longer you walk, the more your knees and hips will complain. A comfortable shoe often feels surprisingly light, almost like an extension of your foot rather than an anchor pulling you down. I once made the mistake of buying a very stylish pair that felt fine in the store. By the end of the day trip, though, it was like dragging small dumbbells with every step. That was the last time I ignored the importance of weight. Step 3. Try later in the day. Here's a secret: not everyone tells you your feet are not the same size all day long. In the morning, they're at their slimmest. But by afternoon or evening, they swell just a little, sometimes enough to make a shoe that once felt fine suddenly unbearable. So if you're shopping for shoes, go in the afternoon. That way, you'll know exactly how they'll feel during the hours you'll most likely be wearing them. It saves you from surprises later. Step 4. Space for the toes. This one is simple but often overlooked. When you stand up, wiggle your toes. They should move freely, not feel pressed together like passengers on an overcrowded bus. There should be at least a thumb's width of space between your longest toe and the front edge. Without that space, every step will push your toes forward, creating pressure, discomfort, and eventually calluses or blisters. I like to think of it this way: our toes deserve room to breathe, stretch, and dance a little. Shoes that allow that freedom are the ones that become lifelong companions. Step 5. Don't just stand, walk. A shoe that feels fine when you're standing still might become a nightmare when you start moving. That's why I always recommend walking around the store for a good few minutes. Pay attention to the little details. Does it pinch when you bend your foot? Does your heel slip out slightly? Do you feel a hot spot where rubbing might happen? These small signals are your body's way of saying, this won't work long. Term. A truly comfortable shoe won't demand your attention. You'll forget about it as you move. That's the real test. A truly comfortable shoe won't demand your attention. You'll forget about it as you move. That's the real test. Step 6. Feel the cushioning. Take your hand and press down inside the shoe. How does the insole respond? If it feels thin, hard, or flat, imagine standing in it for hours. Cushioning should have a gentle bounce, supporting your steps without sinking down completely. It's not about softness alone, it's about resilience. A good insole absorbs impact and returns energy, so your feet don't carry the burden of every step. Step 7. Heel security. One of the biggest culprits of blisters is a heel that doesn't fit right. If it's too loose, your foot will slide up and down as you walk, creating friction. Too tight, and it squeezes uncomfortably. When you try them on, pay close attention to how your heel sits. It should feel hugged, not trapped. You should be able to walk naturally without worrying about slipping or squeezing. Step 8. Breathability matters. I once wore a pair on a summer afternoon that looked lovely, but it made my feet feel like they were locked in a sauna. Within an hour, I was shifting uncomfortably, desperate to slip them off. The material matters. Breathable fabrics or leathers allow airflow, keeping your feet cool and dry. When your skin can breathe, you avoid sweat, odor, and irritation. It may seem like a small detail, but it's one of the biggest contributors to comfort. Step 9. Support for your arches. Even if you've never thought about your arches before, they play a big role in your comfort. As we grow older, arches can flatten slightly, making support more important. Press your thumb into the insole around the middle. Do you feel a gentle rise? That's where your arch sits. A supportive shoe will feel like it's holding you, not just under your heel and toes, but in the middle too. That little detail can make all the difference in preventing foot fatigue. Step 10. The 10-minute rule. Here's my personal golden rule. Don't just slip shoes on and take them off in 30 seconds. Wear them for at least 10 minutes. Walk, stand, bend, even sit down and get back up. If in that short time you're already shifting uncomfortably, noticing pressure, or thinking, I can break them in, stop. Shoes that are uncomfortable at the beginning rarely get better. True comfort is immediate. The bigger picture, comfort is confidence. Please subscribe for more fashion tips. Thanks for watching.